Cool. So I had a request from a guy called Damien to do a technical analysis on SRM, which is SERUM, and that is exactly what we're going to do today. So thank you, Damien, for the request, and yeah, let's get into it. Right, so SERUM is a decentralized exchange, a DEX, and it also boasts a ecosystem that enables high speed and low transaction costs of decentralized finance. Okay, now it's actually built on the Solana blockchain. If you've been living under a rock, Solana blockchain has been making quite a big wave in the market currently, and in fact actually boasts the fastest transaction fee in the game. SERUM was actually created by a company called Alameda Research along with FTX Exchange. Now, FTX Exchange is a derivatives cryptocurrency exchange. It's also a marketplace where you can do NFTs, and you can also stake. And interesting enough, of course, you'll be able to stake SERUM on FTX. And it's pretty obvious why they chose Solana. And it can do about 50,000 transactions per second. That's pretty insane. And this is actually achieved via a variable delay function known as SHA-265 hash chain. And SERUM's vision is to become an important layer of infrastructure on the Solana ecosystem. However, the SERUM ecosystem actually consists of its DEX GUI, its NFT marketplaces. It also does borrow and lending, and also AMM liquidity, which is your automated market maker. All right, so let's start getting under the hood of this puppy and see what we got. All right, so currently SERUM is trading at about 8.50 US dollars. It's come down at about 2.70%. What's more interesting, in fact, is its volume. Its 24-hour volume is actually up about 360%. That's really phenomenal. That's really great. It is sitting at a rank of 139. And if we just go down here, it's all time. You can see really from September onwards, it's just really had such an epic growth. So it's done really well. Okay, let's get into the technical analysis. Okay, here we go. So what we're experiencing now is actually a bit of a shakeout right across the board here. From a macroeconomics point of view, there's other factors in play why this actually happened. This has to do more in terms of the bond market, the debt market, also what's been happening in the stock market, also like the dollar, things like that. All of that plays, and I'm not going to get really too heavy into that. If you want to understand that, just go and watch my market recap and look ahead in terms to understand what is happening from a macroeconomics point of view. But what we experienced here was more of a shakeout than anything else. And I was actually watching this the whole day. But before I get into that, these lines over here, so this is my weekly line. This yellow line here is my daily line. And then my blue line is, as you can see, my hourly line. Now, as mentioned, I was actually watching this the entire day. And I had a little bit of concerns when I was just plotting the trend lines and trying to understand its volume, where its price could potentially go. Now, I'm not surprised seeing all of this now, and I'll point that all out because the indicators were all pointing to it. Now, as mentioned in my other videos, when doing technical analysis, it's never a great sign seeing this constant test here, test, shot up, came back down, test. You don't want to test in really at the floor here. You want to test in the ceiling all the time. So a test again, but it just came back down, test. It came up. Now, what I would have liked to have seen, and this is really what I was trying to watch, is for it to try and test more up here, but it didn't do that. It immediately came screaming back down again, lost this floor, this trend line shape, and got smacked out of it. But it did hit the hourly support here. Now, what is interesting, if I have a look here, and everything is all about volume at the end of the day. So if I go down here and put this, so I'm measuring the volume, as you can see here, right, and it's trend line. So what I've got is this going pretty much that going like so, and I've got its volume currently going like so. That is not a good sign. That's typically telling you that there's going to be a drop coming fairly soon. So hence why I'm saying I'm not surprised seeing this coming down like that and then trying to reach its floor. It looks like it could be retesting here, but again, everything depends on what its volume is really going to be doing. And so far volume picked up here, but let's just carry on seeing what's happening. It would be nice to see if it gets in here and then start testing more up here and testing more up here. If it can do that, I am predicting then price ranges of about $10 right up to about $12 but I've got other concerns with regards to this. Right, so let me just clean up here quickly. Take that away. Okay, and if I go to daily, okay, so one of the biggest concerns that I have pretty much like in the immediate future, currently now, however in the long term, I'm actually quite bullish on this. But if you have a look, I mean, what we're forming here, this particular pattern, you've got a nice little wedge here. Well, it's quite a big wedge, and it's a very similar wedge to what Bitcoin had when it was at 10K, and look what happened to it. Exact same formation, but it's a long-term very bullish. I mean, you can even see you got a golden cross happening here itself. Hence why I'm saying this looks more of a shakeout than anything else. But if this shape really does play out, what you can expect then is this coming all the way down here and then looking to bounce back up like so, and then potentially look at breaking out. It could even break out here. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at as well. But if you have a look at its volume now, going up like so, and its trend going up like that, that's quite healthy. This is really what you want to see. There's more volume coming in. So I'm watching that, to be honest with you. Let me just clean up here and clean up that. Okay, so that's what I'm watching right now. Would I enter in right now? Not a chance. Not a chance. I would wait for this to either break out, shoot up a little bit. Actually, let me just draw that so you can see what I'm trying to get at. I would wait for this to pop out, then look at coming back down, retest, and then I'd enter and then go back up. That's what I would do, because you've got a very strong possibility of this coming all the way down here as well. And I'm looking potentially, let's call it about $3 US then to start entering if that scenario actually does play out. But I would rather look at entering at about 10. Just wait for it to retest and then look at entering at about $10 US. But then I would expect to test its all-time high at about 12, $13 US, and then shoot on right above that, to be honest with you. So long term, I am very bullish on cryptocurrencies itself, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. The fundamentals globally is just really stacking up on that. And you'll find at times fundamentals actually trump technical analysis, because if stuff just goes up, and it didn't play to where your technical analysis was actually set up, it just goes out the window at the end of the day. So it does trump technical analysis. So ultimately, I am very bullish. I would not be too concerned about this. This is just a bit of a shake-up, and then expect a massive rally to start coming. So I'm expecting this to potentially start knocking on doors here, because that's what I want to see. I want to see this testing here the whole time. And if it can't do that, and start rather testing here, then expect it to go down. And that's where I would look to enter, as I said earlier. But if it can break through here, as long as the volume keeps going up and up and up, then you've got that momentum, and it will break through this, and then we could look at some bounce activities here, and ultimately again you want to see testing and breaking through to all-time high. SERUM is going to get its all-time high. I believe currently its all-time high is sitting just slightly under $13 US. It's going to smash that. I actually can see SERUM at being at about close to 20. We're pushing, trying to aim for $20 by the end of this year. I can see that happening. But if this scenario is going to play out, then rather forget that, because that's going to take quite a bit of time to potentially get out of this quite a multi-month wedge, which is very bullish at the end of the day. So okay, so that's my technical analysis on SERUM. Just pay attention to the $10, pay attention to the $12 as potential take profits, and also potential entry points at $10. But I would also look at putting in positions for $3, putting in positions for $5, putting in positions for $6, and also putting in positions in the immediate term for $7 and see how that plays out. So that's how I'm laddering things up here as my trigger points. Remember, I don't really leverage off these coins. It's just way too risky with the altcoins. I do like leveraging with Bitcoin. That's just a different beast altogether, and I typically play the perpetual contracts in terms of Bitcoin. But when it comes to the altcoins, if you are going to use a bit of leverage, I'd rather just stick to about ×2. Don't go more than that because of the volatility of these particular coins. But I would let me just clean up here a bit here. But I would look at just putting in a entry level, like a ladder system itself, and just ease your way into this. Let me just get that all going. All right. So ultimately, yeah, very bullish. Medium term, there's very big concern here. You want to look at some entry points, as mentioned there, and these ladder systems. So yeah, take a screenshot if you want, and apply it to your technical analysis. Damien, I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, I'd love your feedback and let me know. Cool, guys. This is ChrisTrade. Peace.